time for some Am I the A-holes? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, hit the like and subscribe button. Am I the a-hole for calling my obese acquaintance a hypocrite? We will see. I'm a smoker. I smoke a moderate amount, like 3 to 5 a day. I'm aware it's unhealthy. I have an acquaintance that's friends with some other people in my friend group, so although I don't personally consider him a friend, he's always around. He ridicules me for smoking and keeps reminding me how unhealthy it is and how I'm going to die early, which true, but repeating it to my face is annoying. Additionally, I think he's a huge hypocrite because he's self-admittedly obese and eats like crap. I always see him eating unhealthy whenever I see him, and in his own words, he doesn't eat healthy at all, doesn't work out, and is medically considered obese. I think being so unhealthy yourself and criticizing somebody else's health choices is hypocritical. I said so, and he said I'm an a-hole and insensitive for picking at his weight. I think complaining is also hypocritical. I agree with you. He's admitted he's obese. If he's going to keep picking at you for smoking, yes, smoking is unhealthy and it's a terrible, terrible habit, but it's also really hard to quit. But also, so is overeating. Overeating is a medical issue and it is also hard to lose weight. He, however, should not be continuously telling you that it is unhealthy. He said it once, that should be enough. He's said his piece, he's told you his opinion. You're allowed to tell him your opinion. The only reason he will be getting upset is because he is insecure within himself. He knows he's overweight. He just doesn't have the drive or the motivation to do anything about it. One day, hopefully he will. If he's going to keep reminding you that your habit is unhealthy, then you have a right to retaliate and tell him that his is also unhealthy. And maybe you just need to have a conversation with him and go, hey mate, like, I don't appreciate you ridiculing me or telling me over and over again how unhealthy smoking is. I am aware, and when I'm ready to quit, or if I ever want to quit, I will do so. But please stop reminding me. You stop reminding me about that, I will stop commenting on your weight. Come to a clear thing. I personally don't think that you are the a-hole, but let's see what Reddit has to say. Not the a-hole. People like that just want to project and act like the police of good habits in other people's lives so that they don't feel the shame of their own. Yes. I had a BF who's addicted to nicotine gum pouches, and he randomly told me he would leave me if I ever got fat. Mind you, I'm like BMI 16, kind of underweight, because that would reflect poor life habits on my part and would be a bad example for kids. Then he got mad when I said that technically that meant I should leave him for his existing and current, not hypothetical future bad habits then. If they don't want their own logic applied to them, they need to go keep their mouths shut. Absolutely. Not the a-hole. Personally, I would have started with a stern, mind your own business before jumping to flipping it on him. But my guess is the former wouldn't have dissuaded him. OP replied, that was my thought process as well. He's being a dick on purpose, so he knows he's overstepping, and that's the point. Mind your business should always be the opening line. I guess it depends on your behavior. Are you smoking around your friends and being annoying by having to dip every X amount to take a break? Do you smoke in front of them and they have to deal with your secondhand smoke? Are you making it everyone's problem because you can't control yourself when out? All valid questions. If you keep your habit to yourself, then they're overstepping. If you're forcing everyone to soak in cigarette smoke, then yes. And this one disagrees with everyone that says they're not the a-hole. This one says, you the a-hole. Just curious, How many folks die from secondhand obesity every year? Look, if you're not smoking near them and you're taking yourself away from, you know, those that don't smoke, then I think that's okay. It's your choice to smoke. And you said you're only doing like 3 to 5 a day, which in the grand scheme of things isn't a lot. I know people that would go 3 to 5 times an hour. So 3 to 5 times a day, not a lot. It's still unhealthy. I'm not going to say that it's not an unhealthy addiction. It is, absolutely. But so is being overweight and not doing anything about it. Like, and I know that I'm overweight. However, I am working on it. And I'm trying to sort that out for myself. And, you know, so far it's been a slow progress, but I have lost a little bit of weight recently and I'm happy with the slow pace. But at least I acknowledge that and I'm doing something about that. It seems like your friend will just acknowledge that, or your acquaintance, as you say it. It sounds like he acknowledges it, but he just doesn't have the drive or the motivation to do it. And as somebody that's been in that position, it is hard to get motivated. You just need people to be supportive. You definitely should have started with mind your own business and probably shouldn't have attacked his weight. However, you did. It's out there now. You kind of need to just have a conversation. Maybe you both need to just apologize and just say, okay, we know that we have these issues. Let's just move forward. Am I the a-hole for not changing my honeymoon to attend my brother's wedding? Depends. It all depends. I got married in Australia end of last year and just returned from a delayed European honeymoon, which was booked 11 months in advance. My husband and I are super organized people and had everything booked, including train tickets and tickets for some day activities. My brother, who lives in Europe, traveled to Australia for my wedding. It was the first time he has visited home and seen our father, who cannot travel for health reasons, in 5 years. I sent out save the dates 18 months in advance for my wedding. That's a long notice period, and kudos to you for doing that. There's nothing worse than people leaving it to the last minute and giving you only a couple of months notice and expect you to drop everything, but you gave plenty of notice. So kudos to you. Earlier this year, my brother called each member of our family separately to tell us he thinks he's going to get married in 6 weeks' time as his visa is running out. So he is getting married to keep his visa to stay in the European country. Is he doing an illegal wedding? He's been dating his girlfriend for a little over a year. Okay, all right. So he's been committed to someone for a year at least. So not out of convenience. The wedding is not out of convenience and a need so that he can stay in the country. So seems like it's not an illegal wedding. I said that he should not worry about the visa and organize a wedding so that family can make it. The phone conversation was a bit bamboozling for me, to be honest, with all the visa requirements mixed in with picking a wedding date. He mentioned they can have a reception during my honeymoon in August so that I can make it. I said everything was pre-booked and I wouldn't be able to change it. No further mention of an August reception was made. He ended up having a May courthouse wedding without friends and family, had a reception a month later in June, which was organised around my mum's pre-planned holiday to visit him, and then was planning another European wedding for summer 2026 that everyone could make. He announced a date for next year's wedding, and my husband and I made a commitment to attend. Okay. He is now upset that I didn't change one day of my honeymoon to attend his wedding, saying that he made the effort to attend my wedding. I've expressed that the global standard of international weddings is 1 year's notice. You need to have a notice period. and 1 year is fair. And that it would have been a lot of cancellations and flow-on effects for our itinerary. It would be multiple days to change as we were not visiting that area. It's also confusing to me as the August reception date was not even locked in or discussed with a venue. So, am I the a-hole for not changing my honeymoon? I don't think so. Once you've planned and you've booked and you've paid for everything, it really is a hassle to change everything around. And you did plan it well in advance and you did give him plenty of notice. It's not like he's giving you the same amount of time. He's giving you, what, 6 weeks notice for a wedding, you said? And you gave 18 months. 18 months to 6 weeks is a big, big, big difference. So, you know, had he have given you more notice, then you would have been able to change some things around. But when you give 6 weeks notice, it's just a hassle. It costs more money to change things around at the last minute, especially when everything is locked in. I personally don't think that you are the a-hole. I think your brother is a little bit of an a-hole and should have planned it a little bit better. It's fine to go and do it at a courthouse and then have a wedding like a year later or whatever to celebrate your 1 year anniversary. That seems fair, but to expect everyone to just drop everything with 6 weeks notice and expecting people that they're gonna have the money to fly over there for your wedding at such a short notice period, like, people need time to save and get the money together. Not everybody has savings, especially these days with cost of living crisis that we are all in. It's people can't just drop everything and, you know, just bail at the last minute and go attend a wedding. Like, I think have the courthouse wedding and then say we're going to have our wedding reception on our 1 year anniversary. Give people enough time. Let's see what Reddit has to say. Not the a-hole. Even if it wasn't your honeymoon, he should be happy you were spending money to fly out in 2026. Exactly. Not the a-hole. Your brother is a twit though. Not the a-hole. You had plans well in advance. He can't expect you to drop them just like that. Not the a-hole. You had a scheduling conflict, an expensive one. He doesn't get to invite you with little notice and expect you to rearrange his life to suit him. Trust me on this one because I have been in the exact same scenario, except mine was a long planned holiday with a friend, not my honeymoon. Not the a-hole. You planned your wedding and honeymoon well in advance. Just because your brother seems to think that his desire for a spur of the moment courthouse wedding overrides your long held plans, no. No, it doesn't. They got married so he could get a visa. I wouldn't worry about future parties until they actually happen. Not the a-hole. Not the a-hole is an organized person with having everything all set so far in advance. He's got to be out of his mind to think that you would change anything to accommodate his wishy-washy maybe plans at the last minute. I'm sure you would have loved to have attended his wedding, but under those circumstances, I don't think so. So, Reddit agrees with me. You are not the a-hole. This is your friendly little reminder to subscribe. My husband wanted a divorce until he lost his job. Am I the a-hole to follow through with filing? I'm going to say no. I haven't read this, but straight up with that subject, I'm going to say no, you're not the a-hole. If he wanted a divorce, he can't back out of it. So you have the guts to follow through with it. Let's read it though. My husband, 34 male, and I, 38 female, have been married for 6 years, together for 9. We have had our ups and downs, but the biggest down is how he speaks to me. I just had our son 1 year ago. When I was 10 months postpartum, he was telling me I am fat and lazy and all I do is take care of the baby and work. Someone's got to look after the baby. Doesn't seem like he is willing to look after the baby. To call you lazy, you look after the baby and you work. Someone's got to make some money. He just lost his job, so someone's got to be the breadwinner and look after the child and his lazy butt, I assume. I probably shouldn't assume. I should probably read the full story before I get too angry. But to call your wife who's just given birth like a year ago that she's fat and lazy and that she's not allowed to take care of the baby that you helped create. Let's keep going. As I still have baby weight on navigating new routines, work and caring for our baby and 4 other children while working 40 hours a week. Wow. So what does he do to help you? Probably nothing if he's gonna call you fat. You've had, oh my goodness, 5 kids. Yeah, you're gonna have a little bit of extra weight. My goodness. And yeah, a lot of your time is going to be taken up with those kids and looking after those kids. And like I said, you got to make some money. Wow. On my birthday, he demanded I not leave the house or he would divorce me. Okay, bye-bye. Just so happened my daughter had an appointment at UCLA for her teeth that morning of my birthday. So I took her. Needless to say, he didn't even say hello to me and slept in his game room. He has been sleeping there since. It's been 2 months. He told everyone he was divorcing me, spoke to an attorney and everything before even telling me he wanted a divorce. He told me I was not the prize. I'm almost 40 and have 4 kids, 3 who are minors. He said he's the prize. Is he though? He's in his prime and makes good money and any woman would love to be in my shoes and take care of his kids. I don't think so. I don't think any woman would want to take care of somebody else's 4 kids. Like, he is so delulu. Wow, the height. He even went as far as inviting his baby mother into the house to visit while I was out. Fast forward. So, hang on. He even went as far as inviting his baby mother into the house. So, has he been stepping out on you and he's got another baby with another woman? Fast forward. He loses his job and telling me to wait to move on. He then starts talking nicer to me and acting different than before. Of course, because you're now the full breadwinner and he needs your money to live because he isn't getting an income. So he can't afford to pay for mistresses or the other baby or whatever the situation there is. I told him I was still moving out and going forward with separating because his actions did not align with someone who wanted to be with me. It feels more like I'm his only option at the moment. Now he's going around saying I'm a gold digger. And leave as soon as he loses his job. He's saying he wanted to try to make it work, but I am the one choosing to leave to all his family and friends. So, am I the a-hole for following through with what he initiated even after he's lost his job? No, girl. Run. Run. Get out of there. Take the kids. Go. Go. You deserve so much better. Wow. What a piece of work he is. Wow. Wow. He's realizing that nobody wants an unemployed jackass who verbally abuses his postpartum wife. Leave him and focus on creating a healthier life for yourself and your kids without his toxic behavior dragging you down. Exactly. He's just trying to save face now. She's already been through so much postpartum, a new baby, 4 kids, work, and his verbal abuse isn't acceptable. Leaving him is the right move for her and the kids. The audacity of him saying that their kids are her kids and not our kids. She calls the baby ours and the daughter with the dentist appointment my. So it sounds like some of the kids were from a previous relationship. Okay. She also said he invited his baby mother into the house. So does that mean some of the kids are just his as well? It's hard to follow. Yeah, it's clear as mud which of the 4 are his and which are hers. There are 5 altogether and the baby is theirs. She should absolutely get in touch with a lawyer to get her own and get advice about leaving, getting finances separated and one of them moving. I suppose it would depend on whether they lease, if they both signed, or if it's a co-owned house. If it's co-owned house, sometimes you have to suck it up until you can force a sale or buyout. As he's sleeping in the game room, at least they aren't sharing a bed. On another thread, she said 2 are hers from prior relationships, 2 are his from prior relationships, and 1 is theirs. Okay, all right. Thank you for clearing that up. That makes sense. So the baby mother that he's inviting in is the mother of the 2 children that is out of the 4. Okay, I get it. I don't think you are the a-hole, and I think you need to run. Get out of there. Get the F out of there. Am I the a-hole for wanting to break up with girlfriend over her using my emergency credit card? So my girlfriend and I have been together for about 8 months, and I gave her access to my emergency credit card for actual emergencies only, like hospital visits or if her car breaks down, that kind of stuff. Well, that's nice of you. Well, last week I checked my statement and there's a $400 charge at some fancy restaurant I've never heard of. Turns out she took her friends out for a birthday dinner and decided my emergency card was fair game because she was short on cash. I don't care about the money because I won a bunch last week on Stake US, but still. When I confronted her about it, she got defensive and said I was being controlling and that $400 isn't even that much money to me. The thing is, it's not about the money, it's about the trust and respect. I specifically told her that this was for emergencies only and she completely ignored that. Now I'm seriously considering ending things because if she can't respect basic boundaries like this, what else will she think is okay? I think you're not the a-hole. I think you set clear boundaries when you gave her the emergency card. I think your girlfriend is an a-hole for not respecting those boundaries that you put in place. And I think she overstepped by treating her friends. If she can't afford to treat her friends for their birthday, then she shouldn't be doing it. If she's got to take it out of your money, then, and it doesn't matter if you can afford it or not. It doesn't matter if the money's there or not. If she can't afford it, then she shouldn't be taking it out of your credit card. I would take that credit card back and tell her she has lost all privileges, and in future, if she needs money for those emergencies, then she's gonna have to contact you and you're gonna physically have to do it for her. Not the a-hole. Emergency has a meaning. She did this as a test. In my opinion, she failed. Absolutely. Stealing crosses a line. Exactly. It is definitely stealing. Just because you have access to that card, the rules were it was for emergencies only. That was not an emergency. So technically, she stole from you. Stealing crosses a line. You've already seen her true character right there, OP. When I confronted her about it and she got defensive and said I was being controlling, it's worse than just stealing. It's stealing and attempted gaslighting of the victim of said thread. Wow, the fact that she claims he's controlling when it's literally his money. Yes. The sin isn't spending the money, it's a mission. She should have fessed up for the payment posted and offered to pay him back. Assuming he wouldn't notice or care is pretty bad. But you should cut her loose. For me, true love is about trust, but also sharing money. Absolutely. Get your card back. And I have my dad's credit card for bills, because he lives in my house, so I often pay the bills. And when he wasn't paying any rent, he used to pay the bills instead of paying rent, and it was a great compromise. So I have a credit card attached to his account so that I can pay bills, and if I can't afford anything, I generally don't buy it. But if for any reason I need to use this card that isn't for a bill, I will always call him and say, hey, is it okay if I use your credit card? It's going to be this much. I will send you the money when I can. And he's often telling me, you know, like if big things come, like if big bills come up or anything, and he's always like, just use my credit card, you can pay me back when you're ready. Not that I ever have to, but it's nice to know. But I think you need to either get your credit card back, or you need to set a rule in place that she needs to call you before she uses the card. No ifs, buts, maybes. But honestly, in my opinion, I think she has just stolen from you. She's gaslighting you, and you need to kick her to the curb, and you need to find somebody better that is going to respect your boundaries and your rules. Just get the card back. You are not the a-hole. Well, that is all we have time for. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I really would appreciate it. Thank you all so much.